Congratulations on taking this first step and welcome to your free class. I appreciate your time, so let's just dive right into it, okay? You're here because you need to figure out if you should leave your marriage or relationship or try to stay for the kids or for yourself. Maybe you're not in a relationship, but you feel that people close to you are draining you and taking advantage of you or manipulating you, and you just resent them. Your story may be very similar to the stories of people from the book who found themselves in toxic relationships. You may be stuck in a relationship with a person who pushes you around, controls you, manipulates you, takes advantage of you, or humiliates you in front of your children or other people. Maybe that toxic person in your life is not your intimate partner, but your parents, siblings, co workers, or children, even. Some of those people are downright mean and demanding, others are just expert manipulators, smothering you with their kindness. Um, Regardless who they are and how they approach you, they leave you feeling drained, used, burnt out, and just plain tired. You resent those that you're supposed to love. So sometimes you even feel like you want to escape from life or from them. You just have too many demands. Your responsibilities are burdening you, and you feel like there is just no way out. The guilt eats at you, and no matter how much you want to escape, you know that you have to meet other people's demands. And after all, you are the superhero. You are the good guy. You can handle this, right? You can handle the all the absurd demands from others because those people depend on you. That's how you feel. And you will rest tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day that you will take care of your own needs. Tomorrow you will finally say no. Tomorrow they will finally leave you alone. But tomorrow never comes. You just drained. Cannot take it anymore. So my question here is, how long can you live like that? Can you imagine your life 5 years from now if you do nothing about your situation? How will your life look like? How will you feel or act? Do you remember how was your life 5 years ago? And how fast the time flew? It's like that. It's just snap of the finger. That is exactly how fast the next 5 years will go, and then another 5. Well, will you be a happy person? Joyful, fulfilled, free from the burdens? I can tell you right now that no, you won't. If you feel tired today and you add another 5 to 10 years, your feelings will be multiplied by that many more years. What is it that you want in life? Of course, like everybody else, you want peace, you want joy, happy marriage and happy kids, everybody sharing their life responsibilities, and especially you sharing your life responsibilities with your spouse. You want to know what to do in your intimate relationship to be just happy and passionate, in love with your spouse. You want to know how to handle demands from others, how to have time for yourself and your needs. So you don't want to be worried that you're being selfish when you do something for yourself. You want to be in love with life and the people in your life. You want to enjoy the life together with everyone. You want to enjoy the time you have with your children. You don't want to resent them. You want to have a healthy relationship with everybody, every family member, your friends, your coworkers, your neighbors. You want your needs to be respected. You want a beautiful life that you deserve. Isn't that right? So, let me just tell you this. I know where you are in right now because I've gone through it. My name is Ella Badura. I am the best-selling author of Stay in the Marriage or Let It Go. I'm a spiritual healer, entrepreneur, psychospiritual teacher, and a speaker. I do understand your pain very well. I went through this myself. I was a good girl all my life, good wife, superwoman who got everything under control. I juggled way too many demands, just like you. Just like you, I gave others all I got. And no matter how hard I tried and the sacrifices I made, it was never enough. I can't even recall the number of times when others wanted something from me and guilt tripping me into doing things for them, sacrificing my own needs, time, or resources. How could I say no? They needed me. It was my responsibility, my duty. I owe it to them. Many times I just wanted to just shut, no, do it yourself. Or it's not really my problem, but how could I? I mean, I could not disappoint them, leaving them hanging. Would they still love me and accept me if I refused to give in to their request? What kind of a wife, mother, daughter, sister, friend I would be? Sometimes the panic and anger would just rise up in my chest, wanting to come up to the surface. But I would just cave in and do for others what they wanted me to be or what they wanted to be done. It would feel good, of course, it would feel good. But, you know, I would grow tired more and more because that good feeling would be just temporary. And other people's appreciation would soon turn into expectation that, of course, I'm gonna do what they requested the next time around. So I would sleep less and less. My own needs would always get pushed aside. I always felt that sad feelings or other people's hopes. They were in a pickle and they knew I could solve it for them. I really tried to be a best wife, but no matter how much I did, it was just never enough. I was never enough. I blame my relationship, my intimate partners, my life, the circumstances. I felt weak. I felt like I just didn't deserve. I felt overwhelmed. I didn't realize that I was attracting it to my own life. The toxic people in my life, the struggles and the pain that I was feeling. I was so scared of making mistakes and refusing my partner demands for fear of losing them. And when I had enough of being a victim, I was afraid to leave, of fear of just not making it financially. What will happen with my child, with me? Will I make the ends meet? I have been where you are right now. I had a series of painful losses and events that led me to my spiritual awakening, and my life was never the same. I slowly started applying to my life what I'm teaching you in my book and all my programs. It took me 10 years to do the research, to seek the best mentors, the best teacher, look for best books, for publish psychological materials, and just slowly started applying it all to my life that I have learned from the books, the mentors, the classes, the programs. I have realized also that my gifts came from my struggles and that I had some strong force helping me pull out of the pit that I was in to make me a stronger person so I could go back in and get more people out, people like you. I realized that there is a purpose in my struggle and I am able to help you right now. Today, I experience more joy in a single day that I was capable of achieving in previous 40 years. I feel strong, I feel beautiful, and I am sure of myself. I respect and love who I am, and people around love me and respect me. Those that didn't want to accept that I am worthy just fizzled away. And even if I run into them today, they feel my inner strength and they act differently around me. I'm able to experience true and unconditional love with anyone. I love being a parent. I feel so blessed and happy. I can't believe how my life has turned around. It was a process, but I know how to focus all the knowledge and compress it to get the same results that I have in 9 weeks instead of 10 years. I like to use a GPS example of should I stay or should I go? Because if you know where you are headed, if you know where you are right now, you can pretty much get anywhere. So my question here is, what to do? Should I end my marriage or create a stable home for kids? If I leave, will it really be better? And if I stay, how long can I continue living the way that I do? Life really seems unfair. It seems hard and harsh. So the question is, should I stay or should I go? Is my relationship healthy, or how to make it healthy to save it? What should I do to have a joyful life? I really like to use that GPS system. We need to know where we are headed. And we need to also know where we are. But what if we don't know where we're heading? Worse yet, what if we don't know where we are right now? So we need to figure out the destination and where you're starting from in order to get moving toward your lasting happiness. So we're going to discover the qualities of your relationship. Where are you standing? What is really going on? Are there really any red flags so you need to start paying attention? Is the behavior of your partner toxic? And can you still turn it around? Make it work and fall in love with your partner. What is the root problem of your pain and struggle, and how to solve it once and for all? So let's examine the quality of your marriage or relationship and determine if it is toxic, because lots of people are saying that I'm in a toxic relationship, but sometimes they really don't know what toxic might be. So if you are not in a relationship yet, also pay attention to the red flags of your future partner. You will need to figure out where you're standing in your own relationship. Can you do something you haven't done yet to save it if it is falling apart? What's the reason it is falling apart? Is it in your control to save it? Is it wise for you to save it? There are times when it's best to just end it for your and your children's sake and safety. So what's going on? Is your partner criticizing you, stripping away your self-worth, or controlling you, isolating you from all your friends and family members? Do you feel like you have to walk on an eggshell? Is he or she violent, abusive, checked out from your marriage? You feel like he or she is cheating on you, lying to you, manipulating you? Does your partner have problem with addictions that are endangering him or her and all the family members? Does he or she show narcissistic behaviors? Is there a domestic violence in your life? There are some serious toxic behaviors, and you just need to be on the lookout for them. And it does not mean that it just happens once in a blue moon. It's a pattern, and that's what you have to pay attention to. My next question is, how do you want to feel in your marriage? You will want to get clear on how you want to feel and what it may take to create it. All of us girls dream about our Prince Charming, and only some of us get what we dream of. Only some of us marry or attract a great partner. It all lies in our expectation or what we observed growing up. So we need to learn that we don't need to focus on what we don't have or we are lacking in our relationships, but rather we need to be able to focus on what we desire to have, be, or feel. It's a tricky but easy to do when you know how to do it and when you practice it. There are really simple ways to create a very deep bond with your intimate partner, from setting once a week date to enjoying really small things with each other. My book and programs have lots of ideas described in them. Um, I want to ask you, what's blocking you from having what you want? Your current life situation is an effect of something much deeper. Nothing in life happens without something that caused it to happen in the first place. You know, and I know that everything in the universe is governed by the simple law of cause and effect. So when it rains, the natural effect is that you will get wet. So the same happens with everything else in your life. You have a relationship that sucks because of something that happened on a very deep level. And one of those reasons is you may have a very weak personal boundaries, or you may lack them. Kind of like invisible property lines that separate you from others. Where you end and other people begin. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to create and enforce them. It is your right to have your needs met. There are lots of signs of weak personal boundaries, and I'm gonna just cover a few. For example, you fail to speak up when someone treats you badly, or you feel like saying no, but you agree and you say yes. You take too much work, too many commitments. You feel responsible for everything and everyone, including your children, and the responsibilities of your family. The list is really extensive, and it's more about it in my book and my programs. And of course, there are reasons why this all happened to you. Setting and sustaining boundaries is not something that you were born with. It's a learned skill. You're learning it ever since you are a small kid. And you're learning it by observing the models in your life. Those models are your parents, teachers, your siblings, adults, and other kids around you as you're growing up. As a child, you cannot control what those around you taught you or what examples were set when you were young. You observe codependent dynamics within your family, and you learn that love equals what I did and not who I was. So now comes the time that you need to know how to avoid making the same mistakes in the future. There are steps to take to set strong boundaries and steps to communicate them. Those steps are such as first of all, understand that it is your right and responsibility to have your boundaries. You need to know yourself, and you need to know all of your limits. You need to explore who you really are. Learn how to be direct in your communication. Say no when you mean it. Stop overcommitting yourself. And know when people cross the line with you by practicing self-awareness. You may need to also let go of toxic friendship and relationship. Ditch the judgment of yourself and everybody else. Be open to other people, and maybe it is something that you're doing wrong. So be open for that. Another way of setting strong boundaries is you need to pause to stop your own compulsive behavior. Be clear of what are your values and desires. You need to learn how to separate your feelings from feelings of other people. And of course, you need to learn how to be your own gatekeeper. How do you enforce your new boundaries? You need to ask your questions. For example, once you set your boundaries, why they are not working? Why what I communicated is not working? Were you clear? Did you fall into guilt trip? You also need to know that you are harming your own children if you have no limits, rules, and expectations of them. You need to follow through examples. Remember that actions are always louder than words. And what I mean by it is, if you tell someone don't come to my house unless you call me first. But then they are showing up on your doorstep, knocking the door, and you're like opening the door and saying, I told you don't come, I told you to call. Well, your action already spoke louder than your words. You might say, I told you not to do something, but you've opened the door. So follow through with examples. Be careful who advises you, because those that are the nearest to you, they might be the problem too. And use your last resort. Ignore fire communication. If you've done everything to communicate your new boundaries and people keep on breaking them, just ignore fire communications with them. You owe them nothing anymore. My other thing that I wanted to talk to you about today is, do you ask yourself the question, am I good enough? You need to learn to overcome your self-sabotaging core beliefs on the deepest level through meditation, through visualization, and easy exercises. So let me first get to what is really core belief. It's a thought that you keep thinking and it becomes true to you. It is not necessarily an ultimate truth, only your assumption that it is truth. So your core belief influence and control your every decision in life. If your core beliefs are negative, they can drive your emotional reaction and unwanted behaviors, sabotage the happiness and fulfillment in your life. We must dig out and question all those negative beliefs and change them. You need to question every negative feeling or emotion to find out what's really causing you to feel that way. So let me go back to the example, I am not good enough. How to change it is change I am not good enough to I feel not good enough. I feel like I am not good enough. And answer this, why do you feel that? Look for the reason why you feel not good enough. And then once you do that, change the I am not good enough. Change it to I am good enough and find evidence supporting it. Also know that you are not selfish if you love yourself. Learn how to practice daily self-care and boundaries without feeling selfish. I am describing really easy 18 steps to follow daily for self-love and self-care, like diet, sleep, exercises, which we always hear about everywhere. But there are also things like negative self-talk, like reading nonfiction to broaden your mind, self-hypnosis, meditation, solitude moments, even if they are just 1-2 minutes, following your intuition, your instinct, having a great social network, how to manage your stress, take care of your passion, go out to nature, to be assertive, adding colors in your closet, being careful with cognitive distortion, mental traps, and poisonous people. Consider your needs and your boundaries when you are trying to decide, should I stay or should I go? You need to know that divorce have the effects on children. You need to know the realities of single parenting. It comes the time to determine whether the marriage is worth saving. There are times that divorce is the best option for you and your children. And you also need to know about co-parenting and that divorce does not have to be ugly. There are ways to protect your children and make them thrive in aftermath. No matter what you decide to do, you need to move forward with grace. Let go of holding on to the grudges from the past and learn how to forgive others and yourself, whether you decide to stay or to leave that marriage. There are methods of healing through forgiveness, and I'm describing them in great details those methods are tricking your mind with imagination, because your subconscious mind doesn't know if you are pretending something or it's really happening for real. Another way of healing through forgiveness is writing about it in your journal or on the paper, to work it out on your own or with the person involved. You can send them the letter or you can burn it. It doesn't really matter. Unfortunately, there are the challenges that lie ahead of you that you may face even if you do everything right. Every time you make change, you meet with a resistance. That resistance comes both from your inner and outer world. You may get inspired or motivated and have short bursts of change before you fall back into your own habits. Do you recall how many times you tried to change something for better? Let's just say your diet, your children's behavior, your marriage, saving money, keeping house clean, I don't know, workplace engagement and such. Do you remember how long it lasted before you were slipping back into your old routine, your old habits, allowing others to slip back into their behavior that you could no longer tolerate just a short period of time before? It doesn't take long, right? So motivation is not enough. You want a commitment. You want to be willing to give your time and energy to something that you believe in. So my question is this: do you believe in yourself? Do you believe you deserve a happy life? To be in a loving relationship you've always been wanting? To have everyone responsible for their own feelings and not dump everything on your shoulders? To have a family in which you're not the only one carrying all responsibilities? To be free from demands of controlling people? If you think so, commit to making a change in your life. Imagine yourself on the deathbed, when you did nothing to change. How does your life look like? Is it even an option not to make a change? I really care about your success, no matter what you choose to do, because I have been there. I don't want anyone to suffer in the relationship like that. I do believe you are worthy. I believe you deserve the best life. I know you deserve the dream life. Don't you ever give up on yourself, not even when the going gets tough. Remember that your needs are important. Your life depends on your needs being fulfilled. Love yourself so you can love others with your whole heart. I don't know if you're going to use what I have just told you. And even if you do, I don't know how long will it stick before you are back to square one, back to your old self-sabotaging behaviors. The studies shows that many of our goals and resolution to change our behavior are just short-lived. Even when changing a behavior is positive and healthy, we struggle with long-term changes. We struggle to overcome our barriers and obstacles. We're creatures of habit. And no matter how beneficial the change of behavior is for us, we tend to do things that make us feel comfortable. Or, how do you say it? Better to deal with the devil I know. And we're being scared of the unknown. We just do what we want, not what we need to do. We prefer to do nothing and remain unchanged. That's why we need help. We need someone to hold us accountable. I would love for you to be able to have help dealing with all your responsibilities. You would not be tired anymore. Maybe you can rekindle the love you share with your husband and not think about leaving him. I would love for you to be able to handle your life without being burnt out. I want to show you how to do it. I want to show you how to do it all and still be happy and joyful. If you could snap your fingers and make a wish, I imagine that you would say something like, I wish my husband help around the house with the kids and our life's burdens. I imagine that if I help you solve this problem, your life would be much better. that you could share responsibilities with your husband and that you could share the love that you used to have before you had kids. I imagine that you would be able to have fun in life again, to have more energy and do things for yourselves. You would not be used by others at home and at work. You would be respected and treated well. I imagine that you would know where your role ends and other role begins. You would know that you are not responsible for happiness of other people. I want you to stop being a pushover. I want you to be able to say, no, no more. I have suffered enough. Don't treat me like I'm a loser or a victim. I'm done making myself small and letting you push me around. I'm done with that. I'm free. I'm free to be me. I'm ready to set my boundaries with anyone. Oh no, you cannot hurt me anymore. Okay? You cannot use me, abuse me, manipulate me, push me around, take advantage of me, or make fun of me. You hear me? No more. From now on, I am worthy of love and respect only, and I accept nothing less. This is my wish for you. If you're serious about making a lasting change, click below or go to joyfulnewlife.com for more information. I would be honored to be the one that you will reach out to. You already know my values after reading my book. I have shared deep and intimate information with you about my struggles in life. You know where I've been. And you know that there's absolutely a way to make your life joyful. What are you waiting for? If it's not today, then when are you going to take your needs seriously? So contact me and let our journey together start to discover the best version of you. Thank you again for your time. I appreciate it, and I see you soon. Bye.